Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and today we have another video from the internet Anarchist, and this is called How Exposing Wendigoon Ended His Career. I can't remember exactly who this video is about, but I guess we'll find out in a second.
Not too long ago,
it's In Praises of Shadows. They're kind of like a documentary kind of video channel, but they specifically work around like the horror type stuff. But I guess they put out a video recently that was like bashing conservatives for like no apparent reason other than they just hate conservatives, which I'm not on the conservative side of the political spectrum. I'm not on the liberal side of the political spectrum. I'm more of an independent, so I kind of get from both sides. Honestly, both extreme right and extreme left are just filled with lunatics. It doesn't matter who you are.
YouTuber In Praise of Shadows was a relatively successful media analyst with a decent following. He delved into the meanings behind horror movies, shows, and artworks, all while subtly promoting his left-leaning political...
Okay, so I mean, here's the thing. Like, who cares if he's promoting his left-leaning political views subtly? You know, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can even go hardcore on it. But, you know, the problem is when you're like, when you bash another side for no reason. So I guess we'll see here.
But then,
I heard this
out
video
of
was
nowhere,
horrible.
he posted an over 3-hour-long video slandering...
Over 3 hours long?
and exposing Wendigoon, Shoeonhead, Brandon Buckingham, and a handful of other prominent YouTubers. This video bombed harder than Twitter rebranding to X. It shattered their reputation in...
Okay, nothing bombs harder than Twitter rebranding to X.
In Praise of Shadows spent 5 years building over...
I mean, it's one bad video. It's not going to completely destroy their career. I really hope they come out with a video where they bash left-leaning horror movies. That'd be hilarious.
And made him the laughingstock of the internet. It's got so bad that when you search for...
Maybe the laughingstock of the conservative internet. I mean, but the majority of people probably don't even know who this person is. 400,000 subscribers is not a massive channel. The Dr. Disrespect thing, for instance, going on right now is a way bigger issue.
For his channel on YouTube, the first video you see is about how disastrously bad this last one video was.
In reality, you're a delusional, hateful hypocrite, and this is the worst video I've ever seen.
Wow. It's pretty bad when you find someone saying it's the worst video ever. There's a lot of really shit videos on YouTube. I mean, there are literally billions of videos on this channel, and you're saying that's the worst one?
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be looking into the destructive downfall of In Praise of Shadows, a YouTuber who thought it would be a good idea to go after some of the most beloved creators on the platform.
I mean, we'll see if there actually is a downfall. I checked out their channel right before this, and honestly, they post one video every 3 months. They haven't posted since May 20-something, so it's been 2 months or so. Just because they haven't posted another video and they deleted one video that went really badly for them doesn't really mean a ton. It just means they lost their mind for one video. We'll see. We'll see what happens in a month or so. See if they post another video, because then everything will just be back on track as normal.
Arguments so poorly constructed and illogical, it almost appears to be a parody on why they are the ultimate evil. On the 25th of May 2024, Zayn, the host of In Praise of Shadows...
It's been just over a month. It's been only like 35 days or so. So it hasn't even been that long. So we'll see if their channel is actually destroyed, because they still have 300... They lost 5,000 subscribers, okay? They had 395,000 subscribers when they dropped this video, and they lost 5,000 subscribers. So only 5,000 people really cared what happened here.
Uploaded a now-deleted video titled Bad Conservative Horror Movies, a video that seemed no different to his previous content at a first glance, but started off on an extremely bizarre topic that had little to do with his title or thumbnail. He opened the video with a lengthy rant about a terrible horror convention he attended a couple months prior, labeling it as...
It sounds just like he had a really bad time at this convention, blamed, for whatever reason conservatives, versus just it being a shit convention. I mean, I've been to a lot of shit conventions. I even worked for conventions that were shit. Well, I wasn't running them. I was just an employee of them. But that doesn't mean you can blame a political field. That just means that it was a shit convention.
as quote redneck and quote unprofessional.
Over the weekend,
Hey, a lot of like cheap rednecky conventions are amazing. Can't blame old rednecks for having shit conventions. There's some really good conventions.
I traveled to Concord, North Carolina to attend this year's Mad Monster
Okay, North
Party,
Carolina,
which
right.
was far and away the most redneck and unprofessional convention that I had ever been to in my life.
This introduction alone hinted at the political bias that would taint the rest of the argument.
Is he only used to like, I don't know, Kamikaze and Comic-Con? Because those are mega conventions.
In his video. And after complaining about small details like the distance to the parking lot and material used for the weekend pass, he then presents a theory of his that's a stretch at best and utterly absurd at worst.
I think there's actually not one, but two distinct horror communities. One that is more concerned with writing and thinking about how our own experiences and world are reflected through art. And then you have another that is more conservative and traditionally capital A American.
Okay. So wait, his argument is he's bashing one whole side of the political spectrum for not doing, or for basically like the Scream movies, for instance, or whatever, for basically like selling out for horror movies. And then is he trying to say that, you know, left-leaning writers are only in it for the writing and not for the money? That's bullshit. Everyone is in it for the money.
And is based more in basic consumerism and viewing movies strictly as entertainment and nothing else.
Yeah, no, bullshit. Everyone, for the most part, if you're going to make a movie or anything, any show, any skit, you're hoping to monetize it in some way at some point.
So,
And that's almost for everyone. And if you're not doing it, it's for a class or something, and you're just doing it. Some people might just be doing it for fun, but the majority of people are doing it to eventually turn this into a living. That's what they do. They're usually not trust fund kids that can just do whatever the hell they want for their entire life. They usually have to make a living somehow.
according to him, horror fans with right-leaning political views are incapable of appreciating the subtext and artistry behind horror movies and shows.
I don't know if that's specifically what he meant. He said conservative. He didn't necessarily say politically conservative. Now, the question here is, I didn't see the video, so I'm only basing off of this video. So, and the other video has been deleted. So, and I'm sure someone's going to tell me in the comments, he really meant politically conservative, because then it's a problem, right? But if it's like just conservative as in more conservative, like writing style, that doesn't necessarily mean politically conservative. That just means conservative as a writing style, not outlandish, you know? But I'm sure in this later on in the video, he's going to go on some stupid rant about politics, so yeah.
Calling them intellectually inferior. Now, you might think that after a nearly 25-minute rant about the conservative leanings of the convention's organizers, Zayn would finally get to the point of the video. But shocker, he doesn't. Instead, he switches gears to talk about how rough his life has been due to the criticism he received on his video analyzing the Hills Have Eyes movie franchise.
I mean, most people who are going to criticize your video, they're going to watch the whole video to criticize you. And guess what? You make more money anyway. You don't lose money for that. You make money. One of my worst performing videos that has the most downvotes has made me the most money on my channel. To be fair, it's only made $10. So just so you guys know, my most profitable video on this entire channel has made a total of $10.42. So yeah, I'm not rolling in money as a reaction channel.
In the time since making that video, very often it is the case that when conservatives want to criticize me, they will go back to that and use it as a weapon.
He then...
Okay, never mind. Take back what I said originally. That was literally basically dissing an entire political side, so geez.
spends another 25 minutes or so reading mean tweets that criticize his views on the beloved movie franchise and complaining about receiving these tweets. During this, he
I could probably make like a 1-hour video of people bitching at me about my Bee Gees reaction and criticizing the fact that I'm tone deaf. Which I am tone deaf, so that makes music reactions impossible. But
Also states this.
By twisting my words in very bad faith to make it look like I said something that I obviously did not intend if you had watched the video.
oh, you're on the internet,
Usually
dude.
in an attempt to make me either look crazy or cartoonish or racist.
Which is extremely ironic considering the nonsensical statements he makes about other creators later in the video. For context, he's mostly talking about tweets like these that label him as racist due to what he said in his analysis video. However, what makes Zayn's
Okay.
self-victimization completely baseless is that regardless of what he thinks, the racism allegations are not entirely untrue. So, he not only fails to acknowledge that what he said was wrong, but also labels all criticism of his words as something right-leaning conservatives say to, quote, attack him.
Yeah, that's not how that works. You can totally be called out on your shit, no matter what political side you're on. That's absolute garbage that you couldn't be called out, for instance, just because you happen to be more left-wing.
Here, he also
And
talks
you're
at length
only
about
called out
how
by
he's barely
conservatives.
making ends meet with the money he's earning from YouTube, which is an unusual thing to discuss in a video
I mean, who cares? Go find another way to earn money. Use YouTube as a supplemental way.
about horror movies. However, Brandon Buckingham offers a pretty good explanation in his reaction video of what Zayn is really trying to get at.
Should we check out that video too? The worst video ever?
There was a month last year where I only
I
made
guess it's a reaction,
$500 in ad revenue. I can't live off that.
What does he think he will accomplish by saying stuff like this? He thinks he's just the sweetest little birthday boy and he's not deserving of any criticism whatsoever. He thinks he deserves success
Everyone, especially on YouTube, is deserving of criticism in every way possible.
and money and praise, but instead, all he's getting is hate and he's broke.
Up until this point though, Zayn's video has been nothing but ramblings about barely connected topics like bad horror conventions, the online criticism he's received, and his financial
So
situation.
far minor.
However, an
Let's see
hour
how
and 20
bad this
minutes
gets.
into the video, he
God.
said something really strange.
Trust me when I say that conservatives are perfectly capable, just like anyone else, of
Yeah, I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt, dude. I really did. Yeah, at the beginning when you said conservative, I was hoping you just meant like conservative writing, like just as in general. But no, you legit meant political. Oh my God, you fucking idiot.
being funny and learning how to produce art, but in practice is dangerous, and allows the slow infiltration of conservative beliefs into places that they should not be allowed.
What? Like what?
This made it clear that the video isn't about horror or movies.
Yeah, it's
Instead,
totally political.
it's about rejecting the conservative belief system and everything relating to it.
Well, it's just not being conservative politically. I don't know about rejecting the entire belief system, but and that's just specifically opinion based. Gotta hate politics.
Understanding this bit would also help make sense of what the entire controversy is about. Zayn's weird statements regarding Wendigoon and other YouTubers. But before we get into the specifics of what he said, it's important to note that the issue people have with Zayn's video isn't that he said something mean about their favorite YouTubers. Instead, the majority of the backlash stems from the fact that Zayn makes some outlandish claims about the lives and true intentions of these YouTubers.
Interesting.
And as you'll see, he does not present any solid evidence or logical explanation to back up his work.
You don't need to do that on YouTube. You can just make up shit. Why would you need evidence?
Over 2 hours and 40 minutes into the video, Zayn shifts his focus from criticizing conservatives in general to targeting one specific YouTuber, Wendigoon. He starts his rambling with some serious allegations.
That, as you will hopefully come to see, should not be seen as the wholesome, southern-friendly dad persona that he has publicly constructed around himself in the past several years. And that, like many people who talk about being Christians as much as he does, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism.
Then he goes on to state that he does not respect Wendigoon's opinions because he's rich and young.
That's not, what? That's a terrible reason not to give a shit about. Just you be like, I don't respect his opinions because I just don't respect him. You know, not because he's rich and young. Who gives a shit about that? I don't respect this guy's opinions because he's apparently generalizing, calling everyone who's conservative a dumb idiot redneck, which is garbage. You shouldn't do that. Besides, there's some awesome rednecks. I got a lot of family in certain areas that would probably be considered a redneck. They're awesome, and they make some of the best. Well, okay, never mind.
I have no need or desire to hear 5 hours of opinions on Blood Meridian from a 21-year-old millionaire.
Dismissing Wendigoon's media analysis skills due to his financial background. So let's get this straight. He complains about his own money problems, and then...
that's the other thing. It would be one thing if you just complained about someone being rich, but he's also complaining that he's broke at the same time, so what the heck? What do you want from people?
Bashes a YouTuber for being young and financially stable. This not only exposes the true intentions behind his so-called criticism, but also reveals a glaring hypocrisy. Also, by this logic, if the Embrace of Shadows channel becomes successful and makes Zayn rich, will his own critiques and opinions on movies become irrelevant
Apparently, that would make sense, right?
as well? Next, Zayn claims that Wendigoon follows social media accounts of controversial figures like Kyle Rittenhouse, who shot and killed 2 people during a protest in
I mean, look, the majority of people who follow... who are on Twitter follow every single freaking person under the sun to extend their reach as far as literally possible. It doesn't really matter if they agree with them or not. They're going to follow every single person on the planet.
2020. He then shows a screenshot of a tweet that Wendigoon supposedly made in support of Rittenhouse. However, he also immediately admits that there is no proof the screenshot is real to begin with.
Although, since I did not take these screenshots, they do have to be taken with a grain of salt.
So, if these screenshots could be fake, why is he using them as supposed proof of Wendigoon's support for Rittenhouse?
Okay, I mean, literally every commentator channel uses supposed potential screenshots, even if they are fake, as potential proof. It doesn't even matter. Then they go back on another video, and then they're like, well, I guess it was fake, my bad. That's not a very good argument to use against this guy. Yeah, this guy seems to be an idiot, but I don't know about this internet anarchist. I don't see that as a good enough example.
Rittenhouse.
Give me something else.
In his own words, it's because Wendigoon never publicly claimed that these screenshots are fake. So surely there must be some truth to them.
Yeah, that's not good enough either on his side either.
These have been widespread across the internet, and to my knowledge, I can find no examples of him directly saying that these are not real. So he may or may not have actually followed these accounts or supported them.
Even though it's entirely possible that Wendigoon might not have seen these screenshots before, or is choosing to ignore them on purpose to avoid any further drama.
Well, I mean, yeah, Wendigoon would be smart. You know, don't acknowledge anything and you never have to worry about it. That's why I like the Sunny V2 approach. Just ignore everyone.
It's not difficult to create a fake screenshot, so jumping to conclusions based solely on silence is completely illogical.
You can literally type fake YouTube comments, and it has the same websites within the first 5 searches have fake YouTube comments, Twitter comments, everything, and they look legit, and you can just take screenshots of them.
A comment
Even
on
with the right,
Wendigoon's official
artwork, it's
subreddit
crazy.
also presents this whole argument from a different perspective. You ever heard of hate following a person? That's what's probably doing with those sus accounts. So even if we assume that these screenshots
I mean, I hate follow Illuminati.
are real, just because Wendigoon follows Rittenhouse doesn't mean he agrees with his political views. The next argument Zayn brings up is even more ridiculous, with evidence that can only be described as laughable. According to Zayn, Wendigoon is the mastermind behind the Boogaloo Boys extremist group, because the group...
What? I'm pretty sure this group is, like, older than... Okay.
His name is derived very similar to Wendigoon's old username, Boogaloo Boy. Unfortunately for him, Wendigoon clarified in a Reddit post that he has nothing to do with the group. He explained that he originally used the term Boogaloo based on Che Guevara's code word for revolution, as he's always been a proponent of freedom and liberty. However, as the term became more mainstream, it was hijacked by far-right groups, and its original meaning was distorted into something completely different. Upon realizing its new
Yeah, that's like the meaning of every single freaking word. Example, the word woke. I'm not even going to go into a whole... I'm not going to deal with that word. But that word means... I'm just going to say that word means 200,000 different definitions, and no one has any idea what it means anymore.
connotation, Wendigoon completely distanced himself from it and began posting media analysis videos under his current channel name. Despite this clarification, Zayn still insists that Wendigoon has ties to the Boogaloo Boys group because he wears Hawaiian shirts in his videos.
But he's wearing a fucking Hawaiian shirt. What the fuck?
Also, it should be noted that the Boogaloo Boys are known for wearing Hawaiian shirts.
What the hell shirt
and
is
guess
that?
who else always has on a Hawaiian shirt, despite the fact that he publicly totally does not share in their beliefs, guys.
Does this mean that anyone who wears Hawaiian shirts is connected to this extremist group?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is that? I don't wear Hawaiian shirts because I just don't buy them. Also, I don't like ironing things. All my shirts are the iron-proof ones.
Here, Zayn also nitpicks on the exact words Wendigoon uses in his Reddit post regarding the Boogaloo Boys.
People who are centrist, or on the left, do not use the phrasing Antifa members. The only people who say that are the ones that see Antifa as some sort of homogenous radical left-wing activist group.
As if saying Antifa members instead of just Antifa somehow proves he holds alt-right beliefs.
I mean, I have no idea on that one. I've vaguely heard of that side, but I've also heard of, the far-right nonsense. Both far-right and far-left are filled with insanity. I hate them both.
After these illogical arguments, Zayn then moves on to attacking people Wendigoon has interacted with, online or in person, accusing them of being part of the same racist alt-right group as Wendigoon. He starts with Turkey Tom.
Wendigoon is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. They have been seen together on multiple occasions, and I've seen online mentions that Tom was either at his wedding or at the very least was invited.
And
yes, because a lot of YouTubers don't have real friends. They only have online creator friends.
why does Zayn think Turkey Tom is alt-right? Because of some dumb stuff he said on the internet as a teenager over 6 years ago. Next, Zayn targets the internet historian.
How you target this guy? I love how YouTubers love to pull up stuff from decades ago. I just love it. It's fantastic. They're like, this person's never going to change. I'm going to pull up something from 12 years ago. See? They're the demon incarnate. All right, I got to see this
accusing
part.
him of being alt-right because he once jokingly said his birthday was on the 20th of April, which also happens to be Hitler's birthday. He complained.
What kind of stretch is that bullshit? Even if the internet historian was alt-right somehow, their videos are amazing.
Completely ignores that April 20th is also 420,
Yeah.
the haha funny infamous weed day. He then continues to mention a number of other YouTubers who had some positive interactions with Wendigoon, including Brandon Buckingham, Shoonhead, Oombaville, and some ordinary gamer, all while making absurd statements about each one of them.
Oopaville is a good name. Should I check out their channel? Do they make videos kind of like this?
For instance, this is what he says about Brandon Buckingham.
He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening
Completely ignoring the fact that the grape allegations came from Sneeko of all people,
Oh, God. Yeah, you can't believe anything this guy says.
and were not backed by any evidence. Similarly, he accuses Shoofhead of being a quote conservative masquerading as a leftist because a joke she made on Twitter, taking her words out of context and presenting them as malicious, which is ironic, considering he complained about the same thing happening to him earlier in the video.
I swear, political YouTubers are just like on both sides of the argument. I wonder if any political YouTuber is actually political. I really do, because that'd be interesting. Maybe they're all just like scamming their audience because it makes money. The more drama you cause on your channel, the more money you can earn, even if you don't believe in anything other than the mighty dollar or Bitcoin.
Very often it is the case that when conservatives want to criticize me, they will go back to that and use it as a weapon, by twisting my words in very bad faith to make it
Man, no one needs to twist your words in any way. Do that all yourself, damn it.
look like I said something that I obviously did not intend if you had watched the video.
Speaking of irony, near the end of the video, Zayn says this about the area Wendigoon grew up in.
It is about as white as you could possibly get. Deep
I mean, I swear, his stupid backgrounds piss me off to no end. Maybe it's like super relaxing to some people, but man, those are driving me
Appalachia
insane.
is very white country, and for the most part,
What?
is exceptionally racist.
Essentially labeling a whole community of people as racists just because they are white and live in the Appalachian region of the US. Isn't this type of stereotyping based on race racist in and of itself? The same thing Zayn has been trying to accuse Wendigoon of being? Finally, Zayn ends the video by calling for Wendigoon's cancellation, saying that he should not be allowed in public because of the alleged racism, even though he did not provide a single credible piece of evidence to back his claims.
Yeah, that's a stretch. I don't know how you're gonna pull that shit off.
But the reason that I care is because this does not belong in horror, or anywhere. I care deeply about horror, and everything that he
Yeah, the way you use your backgrounds is horror.
does has demonstrated so far in his career that he should not be welcomed in our spaces, or even, just in public in
What do you mean by our spaces? What the hell is wrong with this guy?
general.
Even if we ignore the blatant misrepresentation of facts and absurd arguments with no logical backing, the
Yeah.
whole video feels off from start to finish. It's like a poor attempt at creating an H-Bomber Guy video, except without everything that makes H-Bomber Guy's content engaging, namely his research, humor, and evidence.
Yeah, I mean, H-Bomber Guy's videos are great for the most part. There are definite issues with them, but that's not something that, you can definitely overlook a lot of the problems. Now, CoffeeZilla, now those are videos we definitely got to watch. Those are good videos.
But why make such a video in the first place, when there are plenty of horror media franchises left to analyze? Well, the obvious answer is views. You see,
Yep.
Zayn's channel has been in decline since late 2021, gaining literally 0 new subscribers for several months. It's no secret that making videos about other creators is an effective way to gain views.
Yeah. Look at the Internet Anarchist. They passed 1 million subscribers over the last day or two. Last time I checked out one of their videos, they were like 800K.
Just look at the vegan teacher whose entire career is supported.
Oh my gosh, that lady's crazy as crap. Gee, this lady's insane. And I am mostly a vegetarian. Well, maybe not vegan. Never mind. I had a hamburger today. What the hell am I talking about?
By this concept. It's possible that Zayn made this video to farm views from the controversy and drama it would generate, but unfortunately for him, it backfired spectacularly, and the backlash was immediate. Buckingham led the charge as one of the first YouTubers to respond to Zayn's slanderous statements. In a tweet reading, "Hey Prey Shadows, going through every one of Wendigoon's friends and insulting them to try and paint him in a bad light makes you seem like a desperate and pathetic freak." Brandon also sarcastically praises Zayn for using a picture of his grandpa after his brain surgery, reading, "Also, using a photo of my grandpa after his brain surgery is super cool of you. You seem like a great guy. I want to shake your hand."
Damn.
In a later tweet, Brandon pointed out the sheer insanity of 2 of the worst statements Zayn made in his video. 1, labeling every white person living in Appalachia as racist, and 2, saying that Wendigoon should not be allowed in public spaces because he's conservative. In a tweet reading, "I forgive you for thoughtlessly defaming me, but claiming all white people in deep Appalachia should be assumed to be racist, and saying Wendigoon should not be allowed in public because of his assumed beliefs really shows how hateful and insane."
Yeah, definitely insane. Most likely hateful. I mean, there's like no walking back half of this shit he said. Holy crap.
The YouTube community didn't hold back either. They started ripping apart Zayn's absurd accusations line by line. For example, in his video, Zayn tried to portray the YouTuber donut operator as a bad person by criticizing his content.
For example, one of his videos is titled "Predator Takes Shotgun to the Face" and features a picture of him smiling in the corner of the thumbnail next to an image of a terrified man about to be executed by cops, with the text that reads, "Head removal."
To which someone posted, "Oh no, Wendigoon is friends with a guy who made fun of a PDF file who was rightfully shot. The absurd horror. Maybe we should check your hard drive." Which is a fair point. What's absurd is that the donut operator video Zayn mentioned shows a predator getting shot by the police after he pulled a gun and tried to shoot the officers. So mentioning this in the video as something that makes donut operator
Yeah, that's you can't just leave out very important facts when you make a claim like that, dude.
and by extension Wendigoon bad people just make Zayn look like a PDF file defender. And as a reply to this tweet states, "What's up with leftists getting very defensive in behalf of PDF files?" As if the backlash on Twitter wasn't enough, the creator Zayn slandered, like some ordinary gamer, Buckingham, and Shoeonhead, also published full videos debunking his accusations and pointing massive holes in his argument.
Maybe we should watch some of these videos.
Brandon also reached out to Wendigoon and asked for his response on this whole situation.
And he was silent.
While everyone else was making fun of Zayn for his terrible takes, Wendigoon's response was quite sane and mature, despite all the outlandish claims Zayn made against
He's like, yeah, this guy's just fucking crazy.
him.
He seems to hate me a lot, which is fine. Not everyone has to like me. Have I ever said anything to this guy? Have I ever been rude to him, said anything about him? And I don't think I have. I've been a person that's had trouble forgiving other people, or like I've just harbored, hate towards other people in my life, and it's not fun. keep kind of this anger locked up. And it sounds like there's a lot of spitefulness. I'm not sure what I've done. The points he espoused in the video is that, you know, it's because I followed him, because I liked his video. He took us something else. Maybe that's all. Maybe there's more. I don't know. But whatever it is, I'm sorry if I've attributed to that in any way. And regardless, I'm sorry he feels that way.
He even went as far to apologize.
He even apologized when he didn't even need to.
Zayn, just in case he ever did anything to hurt his feelings.
To him directly, I'm sorry, you know, for this perception of anything I've given you. I'm sorry if I've ever devalued from you or your channel. I apologize, and I sincerely mean it. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. I want everyone, regardless if they like me or not, to do well. Christ didn't say love people who are nice to you. He just said love people. If you say stuff online, you're going to get pushback for it if it's, you know, any kind of controversial, but I hope you don't let that deter you in the long run. I hope you can continue to pursue your dreams. I promise I will not try to stand in the way of that, and I hope none of my followers do.
This calm and collected
I mean, that was the most sane response I've ever seen any YouTuber make, period. I don't even care if you're conservative or liberal in this case. This was sanity.
response further reinforced the faith Wendigoon's fans had in him. It also served as direct evidence against everything Zayn tried to convey in his video. Like this comment on YouTube mentions, ironically, In Praise of Shadow's video on him only really succeeded in giving Wendigoon positive clout, indirectly helping him. Of course, not every YouTuber Zayn mentioned in the video responded with such kindness. Oomperville, for example, decided to go on the offensive a bit.
All I can say, like, every time I see something like this, I think of that fucking scene from Billy Madison at the end.
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Yep. That's actually very, very accurate. Oomperville hit the nail on the head on that one.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Zayn, on the other hand, was also feeling the pressure from this immense backlash, leading to a lackluster response that did little to restore his online reputation. His video got ratioed to oblivion as soon as it went live, with over 27,000 dislikes in total.
It's interesting, though, is he probably made a ton of money on that video, too.
Zayn first deleted the entire 30-minute segment about Wendigoon, and then removed the video from his channel altogether, likely to dodge any more backlash. However, he made the situation worse for himself by trying to argue his way out of the controversy on Twitter. You see, in one of his response tweets, Brandon said that Zayn was moody because he looked like he had low testosterone and that he should exercise more, to which Zayn responded by saying, "You using homophobic language to me, though in calling me a low testosterone freak, does not change my..."
What? What? What about for people who have low testosterone just in general? Like everyone who's got Klinefelters. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Opinions about you. My base thoughts remain the same, even though I should have said them differently and not let that cloud my writing. In other words, Zayn still stood by everything he said about Brandon and probably others. He just realized he needed to phrase it better. Brandon immediately shot back and called out Zayn for continuing to slander him and making him seem like a villain by twisting his words. After spreading false accusations that I threatened to grape someone, this guy is now claiming I am homophobic because I said he seems like he has low testosterone. You are such a victim. Brandon further clarified.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on here?
I had no idea you were homosexual. I was calling you a low testosterone freak for being such a miserable, moody asshole who baselessly slandered me in an attempt to demonize a close friend of mine. This humiliation, combined with the backlash of hundreds of other Twitter users, forced Zayn to private his Twitter account. Unfortunately for Zayn, the trouble was far from over. Someone had leaked the post he made for his Patreon supporters.
Ooh, yeah, this is where it gets really bad. This is like a... Patreon's where is one of the places you gotta be real careful.
Now, to be fair, there are some parts of this post that are pretty logical, considering what went down. Like Zayn apologizing for engaging himself in the wrong way and promising to avoid similar projects in the future.
Okay, well, that sounds sane. Too bad you didn't post that anywhere else.
However, immediately after this, he goes back to saying that whatever he said in the video was right. Reading, "I thought that I was doing good here, and I think to an extent I did do some good, but I could have gone about it differently." He also made a community post on his YouTube channel with similarly mixed statements, apologizing while also trying to play the victim card. With a tweet from Chris the Narc reading, he put out a community post saying he has received harassment. "I do not condone it, but you kind of invoke karma when you straight misreport or lie about people." And just when you think he couldn't dig himself a deeper hole, someone leaks his posts from his Discord server, and he's still
Discord's like the worst place to put anything.
in complete denial and believes he's 100% in the right, with a message reading, "Oh yeah, nobody in the video has actually refuted any of what I said lol, they only point out small individual things that are wrong, but don't actually go as far to say that what I said was."
God. All right. Well, I mean, his channel's probably not completely ruined. There's going to be enough people who hate watch everyone else on the right. So the reality is that's not going to change much. But just his general perception from the average sane person is going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Wasn't right. At this point, it's clear that no counter-argument will make Zayn fully admit that what he said about Wendigoon and other YouTubers was baseless and lacked any real evidence. If it's not clear by now, in Zayn's mind, the only correct opinion is his own, and everyone else
That's pretty true. That's true for a lot of people.
is just a misinformed bully who's harassing him online for stating the truth.
Has anyone ever argued with anyone on like Yahoo or Fox News in the comment section? Either one is fine. No matter what happens, it's going to be like trying to draw blood from a stone to argue with anyone about their beliefs in anything. You will not change the mind of anyone.
Fortunately, it looks like there's nothing the rest of us can do to make him see the light and find the error in his thinking. As for his career on YouTube, the future of his channel is in his own hands. Most people will move on to the next big controversy within a few weeks and forget all about Zayn.
Exactly. I'm totally sure everyone's going to forget about this relatively soon.
It's 3.5 hours of ramblings. And while a handful of people would keep reminding him of his mistakes, their feedback doesn't really matter in the long run. The thing is, Zayn did find some success from this whole debacle. Since posting the controversial video, his Patreon supporters have increased by over 45%.
That's pretty good.
Gives him the chance to get back on his feet. All he has to do is stay away from future controversy and make high-quality videos on the topics which made him popular in the first place. Horror movie analysis. He still has over 390,000 subscribers.
Yeah, from what I could tell, he only lost 5,000 subscribers to this, which, I mean, and if you take a look at his video views, which we'll pull up real quick again. I know Social Blade isn't the most accurate, but it actually is pretty accurate on video views. It's not accurate in any way on income. Let's see here. In Praise of Shadows. Yeah, they lost subscribers. Who cares? Video views, though, they're definitely up on views for the month. They were averaging like 1,500, and now they're averaging 4,000 to 8,000 a day. So it doesn't really matter if they lost views or subscribers. And these are potentially subscribers that are just going to subscribe at some point anyway. But their channel actually got a pretty decent boost. So, yeah, overall, that was actually probably better for them.
Many of whom don't really care about his controversial political views and are just waiting for his next video. This is in stark contrast to Illuminati, whose situation still continues.
I love how Internet Anarchist, every single episode, Illuminati sucks. I'm going to bring up this at the end of every episode. Oh, jeez. Now, to be fair, it's mostly accurate. Allegedly. We're going to use allegedly here. Oh, jeez. Have a good day, everyone. Go watch the Internet Anarchist.